this brisket. You're not going to want to miss this.
You ready? Let's go.
Just so you can see, that's the price, $38.74. Pretty good. Alright, so one thing's always important when you're trimming brisket is you gotta have a really good knife. And actually my favorite knife that I like to use for this is dirty, but I fortunately have a secondary one. So we're just gonna use that one. It is what it is. Get this thing out of its cryovac bag, and then of course start trimming away. God, there's a lot on here to trim off. I'm not excited about that at all. Look at this. Jiminy Christmas. This is gonna take me years. Alright, so I'm just gonna start with the big chunks. There's no science to this for me. I typically try to leave where I can a little bit of fat, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. The least fat I can leave on here, the better off I'm gonna be. Especially for the cook. None of this will render down anyway, so I'm gonna keep trimming, get as much off of here as I possibly can, and then I'll show you how I season it up. I'm actually gonna be doing some injection on this too, so stay tuned for that. And there we have it. Look at that. 5 pounds trimmed off. Alright, so for this injection, I'm going to be putting together some ingredients. Alright, so with this beef injection, I basically have some beef broth. I also have some Worcestershire sauce. I also have some soy sauce, as well as some hot sauce. Here we go, a little beef injection time. Just gonna go directly with the grain. Go as far in there as I can. When I'm doing injection, I don't know about everybody else, but basically what I do is like to basically put it in there and just pull back, pull it in there, pull back. And just keep doing that throughout the whole process. And obviously this one's having some problems. There we go. Finally got to loosen up a little bit. Keep doing that. And you can see there's areas or pockets where it's filling up, and as it fills up, we'll just back off, and there you go. I don't normally inject briskets that often. Let me know down in the comments below if you do injection or if you don't. Like I said, I don't normally do injection, but I felt like with this cut, just because one, it's a choice. Wasn't really that great of a cut, and I'm just trying to do whatever I can to make it as pretty and tasting as good as it possibly can. So last and final step of the process, I love using hot sauce as a binder. I don't know about everybody else out there, but to me this just seems to work. It seems to allow the seasoning to adhere, and honestly I think it adds a little bit to it. So you don't have to use hot sauce, you can use other things. There's plenty of other things out there to use, or you don't have to use nothing at all. I've even seen mustard, I've seen mayo, I've seen all kinds of different techniques. I am just a fan of hot sauce, and I will continue to be. That's just my thing, that's what I like to do, and that's what we're doing. So, with that being said, I'm going to flip it over. Same thing, hot sauce treatment. and then we're going to season this up. And then I'm going to wrap it overnight. We're going to let it rest in a cooler or refrigerator and go from there. I'm telling you, love this hot sauce. Definitely my favorite. So, this will be the first time that I've actually used this seasoning, although I've tasted it and it tastes amazing. This is a Texas bold seasoning from GC Seasoning. So they sent me this to try it out. Figured, hey, Texas, going for Texas brisket, use the Texas seasoning, right? This should be a good one. See how it goes. Definitely a nice peppery flavor to it. Smell, just the seasoning smells a lot like Texas. So, get that on there. We'll get this wrapped. Let that rest. Alright, back to the other side. Same thing. Seasoning. Get as much on there as we can. The only thing I'm worried about this brisket, honestly, is it's going to be uneven. There's no way around it. You got one side bigger than the other. This is just part of it, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But for me, that's one of the reasons I like doing flats a lot. Because a little bit more consistency in the cut, as well as in how they cook, so more evenly. So, but it is what it is, right? Making the most out of this. This is a cheap brisket. We're going to try to make the most out of it, make it as good as we can, and of course as flavorful as we can. Alright, there she is. She's all wrapped up. Now let's get her in the fridge and we'll get her on the cooker tomorrow. Should be a good one. Alright, so today's cook's going down. I'm also using post oak with this brisket, so it's something to keep in mind. I'm doing something a little bit different as far as my setup. I'm using these fire starters, these tumbleweeds, I like to call them. And the reason I have a few more in here than normal is because one, it is freaking cold outside, and then two, I don't have a lot of time. I need to get this rolling. So with that being said, I wanted to get as much of this going as quickly as I could. And I'm going to go ahead and get the center one going so I can get these charcoal going. And then once those get going, then I'll dump those on top. So in any case, that's the process that I'm going to be using for today. If you've never used post oak for your cooks, I highly recommend it. Obviously, a big supporter of Prime 6 charcoal because that stuff lasts for a long time, and it's going to need it today with this cook. It's going to be a long one. Stay tuned. Definitely looking forward to seeing how this turns. I haven't used this in a little bit, but I'm going to be using this whole deflector plate. I usually do it when I'm doing a whole brisket like this. So that'll keep the heat moderate and obviously allow me to get the brisket here on top. So let's get to that, get the brisket out here, and get it going. Alright, let's get this whole brisket on here. Should be a good one. Definitely look forward to seeing how this turns out for sure. It's going to be a long cook. Definitely excited about it though. Going a little Texas style, like I said, low and slow with a Texas seasoning on there. So we'll see how it goes. Long ways to go, but you can see she's coming along nicely. Definitely looks like an awesome brisket so far. Definitely looking forward to seeing how this turns out. And like I said, definitely looks great. So should be a good one. Certainly looking forward to seeing how it all turns out. So stay tuned for that. It's a little cold today, so I'm not sure how long this is actually going to take. Hopefully not longer than I want. Oh yeah, we're already at the 172 mark, believe it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and get this bad boy off of here, get it wrapped in some butcher paper, get it back on the cooker, and see how she goes. It's going to be a little ways more to go, but dang, she looks great already. That color looks amazing, so certainly look forward to see how it tastes. Alright, we pulled it off. Gonna let it rest now. I'm gonna get into a Cambro. Definitely probe tender right at 204, so this should be a good measuring temp for this one. Like I said, more importantly, it's just probe tender. So I'm gonna wrap this up, get it into a Cambro, like I said, and we'll see what it's like. Give it a few hours of rest, and definitely look forward to see how it turns out. Finally done. As you can see, it definitely turned out good. It's actually very juicy, very flavorful. Definitely has a lot of hints of that smokiness, that flavor from the post-oak, from that seasoning. Just the way it all cooked up turned out excellent. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit me up in the comments down below and let me know what you think, and of course let me know what you want to see in the future. Until we meet again, good cooking, and I hope you like this episode.